We are welcome again to the class, and today being the third week of our training, I want to appreciate everybody. Now, this training is taking us to a place, and definitely by the end of today, we'll be able to address some important things. Now, one of those things we are going to address today that I will expect us to be able to do is what I want to bring up to the screen now. Now, by the end of today, I want this is going to be our assignment today. Our assignment today, I want to bring it up so you can see it. Okay, this is going to be our assignment today. Can we all see the screen? Now, this is going to be our assignment today. How do we come about this? Now, if you want to do a website, the website starts from you writing, drawing out how the pattern, how the template will look like. What do you want to achieve at the end of the day? Okay, I want my header to be where my banner is, the image that I'll be scrolling. I want the aside to contain some information that you can always glance through. I want the section and the article to be where I'm going to put the information about the people. And I want the footer to contain some other necessary information like other URL and everything. Now, you must have a layout like this for you to do a website. If you don't have this in mind, you will not know. I mean, it's just like if you want to build a house, you have to have a plan. Okay, this is what you are working towards, so that every of your pages they inherit something like this. So at the end of the class today, we should be able to lay out something like this. So what it will remain, in fact, this is assignment 1 for today. This is your first assignment today. Now the second assignment will now involve you putting value into those things. Put value, put data inside them. That is your second assignment. So at the end of today, I expect us to be able to do something about how to come out with a website. Now, I'm going to show us. I'm going to come up from where we stopped the last class, and I'm going to explain some things for us. Now, if you have been following us up till now, I've been able to align it with what we want to do. I'm going to be creating a folder now, and I want us to follow through. If you have coming from where we stopped the last class, I want to quickly run down some of those things I want us to take notes and I want us to remember. Now, remember I asked us to create a project folder inside our Drive C, and then I asked us to open our .NET Studio that we have set up inside our Drive C as well. Now, I want to open up mine. Now, this is my own folder setup. I have inside my Drive C, I've been able to set up a folder for myself, and I've created the main folder, CTL 6 weeks training. Now inside it, I have 2 folders. Now this that I'm doing, we've done this the last week. So if you open up the folder, you will see the information that is inside. We have this information inside it. Now, if you want to know how we set up this folder, if you check the second week video, you'll be able to see. Now, if you double click on this, you'll be able to achieve it. But by and by, I want to do a rundown of how do we do this again. Peradventure, you have missed it, as in you didn't follow through. Maybe you want any of our training section. I want to open up this. I want to get to this. Then I'll quickly move on. So what we did was that we create a folder inside the Drive C. Inside that folder, we now create another folder. So I'm going to create a folder now inside my Drive C, which I want to just like a reminder. You don't need to be creating the folder every time, but if you have done it once, it's only if you have another new project that you will do, you create it again. Now, I will just create this one. I call it a SAM sample test. Just I put an hyphen and I put it like that. Sample test. That's the name of the folder. I just create it. Now, what you now do is that you come to your screen, you go and click on the .NET Studio icon that you have on your screen. By the time you click on the icon, you're going to have something like this coming up on your page. When you click the icon, something like this come up on your page. So when you do that, the next thing you do is that you go to create new project. These are the projects you have existing. I can easily click on any of these to go to my any project I have working. But let's create a new project. I click here to create a new project. It will load out the new project for me. Then after creating that, what I need to do, I need to tell the system what type of project I want to set up. Now, in the first drop down here, I'll be picking my language, C#. That's the first language here, first drop down here. Now, in the second drop down here, I have to indicate which, since .NET Studio allows you to work with several. You can do many languages inside it. You can do Android, iOS, Linux, and everything. But what I'm doing is Windows, so I pick on Windows. Now again, on the third drop down, I have to tell the system that okay, that my Windows, I'm doing a web application. Just scroll down till you see web. You have a whole lot of application there. Scroll down till you see web. By the time you click on web, what you need to do next is that what we are doing is .NET framework. We have a whole lot of them. .NET Core, now mention it, is there. The Blazor is there, and now you need to scroll down till you see .NET framework. That is what we are using for this training. Subsequent training, we use other one. Now, .NET framework. .NET framework is it used to be very, very important, but now we have other version of it that are using, and we have .NET Core, we have MVC, and the whole like. But now for this training, we are using .NET framework. So I click on .NET framework and I said next. Now, when I do that, system will ask me, okay, the project you want to do, what is the name? So I call the name sample. I just call it sample. By now, we should be able to do this. Now, the next thing I'm to do, I'm to browse to that folder, to the folder that I created inside my drive C. So I'll quickly go there now, so that I'll just pick the folder. So navigate to your drive C and go and pick the folder. Okay, it's inside this place, and I have it test. That's the name of the folder. I just click on it. So I've picked it. Then it's telling me what's the solution name. Here we have project name. My solution name, I want to call it test, something to just make a difference. It's telling me place the solution and project in the same directory. No, I'm not going to check this. Now, the version of the .NET we are going to be working with, the highest version is 4.8. That is where they store .NET framework. It is on the other version. It is on .NET Core, and the other one that they have 5.0 and the other one. But .NET Core stops at 4.8. I'm going to be picking 4.7.2. I'm going to be picking. And I said create. Now, at this point, I'm not going to be picking empty. If you pick empty, what it will load for you will be blank. But instead, I'm not going to be picking MVC or web API. This is not the scope of this. The scope of this two is more than this training for now. Other subsequent training will touch them. So now we're going to be dealing with web form. So when I pick web form, the next thing for me, I'm going to leave every other thing. I'm not going to check everything. I'll leave this one as default. Then I'll click create. So system will now set up the prerequisites and everything that I need for me to load my first application. So this will be load, and after the loading, then we'll pick it up from there. Now, after it has loaded, you're going to have this page. Now, from this page now, what you need to know is that this is the first default page. and the page have loaded some prerequisites for us to see. We are not going to be working with some of these prerequisites. We are going to delete some away. But for the sake of our first project, now, because you are working on the .NET framework and you are working on your local system, if I want to load this now, if I load it, it's going to tell me SSL certificate is not installed on your local system. So I have to disable it for me to be able to run it locally. But when you are deploying, it's advisable to use SSL on your setup online. Now, what you need to do to disable the SSL before I run it is that I will come, this is my solution name, this is my project name. I'll come to the project name, the sample. I'll right click there and I'll go and click property. I want to disable the SSL certificate that is there. Now, inside the property, I will click on web. If I click on the web, if you check down, a little bit down, you will see some IIS setting, this and that, project URL. There is a default SSL certificate that is there. Let me collapse this so you can see very well. I want to collapse this. Let me collapse this. Now, what you need to do is that I can choose to override it by checking this to override it, but I don't want to override. Let me do this. I will come in here, I will remove that small s, the only s, I'll put small s in it, then I'll click this, create the virtual directory. So it's going to load, create the virtual directory for me, and I will now save it. If there will have been a sign for me to save here, I'll save it. Now, what I just done is that I just removed the SSL that would have been stopping my local running of this system. If you want to deploy it, you activate the SSL back. Alright, fine. So now I'm going to close out of this. I'll close out of this, then I will run this application. Now, the system will run, it will populate, get some necessary information, and then my first application will be displayed. Now, after your system has properly loaded, it will load out the form on the browser like this. Now, fine. Now, I want you to look at this template. Everybody, I want us to look at this template. Now, look at this template. If you have to draw this template out, how does the template look like? There's a session here on top. There's a session here on top. After that session, if I scroll down now, I have another session here, get starting, the session, another one at this side in the middle, another one web hosting. I now have the filter at this level. Now, this is an example of a layout. So if you compare this layout now and the layout that I said you're going to come up with, you discover that this is a particular layout. And that layout together with this layout that I'm showing us, they are all almost together. Now, in your website, you can have different type of layouts, different type. And it is very, very important to know the patterns you want to follow before you start at all. So by the time you know the layout you want to follow, because all your other pages, they must not be far from the layout that you are using. So if you have your home page, your index page with a particular layout, your about us, your support, every other one, they must inherit something very close to your layout, or else your work may not be professionally designed. Now, this is a layout. Now, when you have this, if I check the home page, we have this. If I check the about us, we have something. If we check the contact page, we have something. This is meant for us to design. It is still a template. Now, we have loaded our first application from this, from the code. I'm going to close out of this. Let me close out of this. So we have this. Now, I will now go back to the first application that we designed previously. That was last week. So I'm going to minimize, close out of this. Then I'm going to bring up where we are last week, where we stopped last week, and everything that we have been doing previously. Okay, the page now. Now this is what where we are, and this is what we use for the last class. Now, looking at this template, I've made mention to us that we have different layouts of CSS. In the last class, I've mentioned to us a sample CSS that we have above the page. And again, I was able to mention to us other type of CSS, how important they are to us. Now, CSS is very, very important because you cannot do without it. Now, as a developer, when you are working, now from this CSS samples that we have. Now, other things are very, very important. I've shown us what this page looks like. I've shown us the inline CSS as well. We have a case, there can be cases in which you want to put an inline CSS. And then when you put an inline CSS, it's like I said, it is not okay. Using inline CSS is not fine. And using CSS above the page is not ideal as well. But there are cases in which you may want to use it. But I've been able to explain to us the best one. Now, writing CSS may be very cumbersome. And you have to declare the body, declare the bodies like this, like that. That's the reason why some people come together and are able to write a very big CSS, and they now call it Bootstrap. I've been able to introduce Bootstrap to us. This is Bootstrap. Now, all these are Bootstrap files. Now, but the CSS is inside here. Now, looking at the CSS itself, it's a little bit very long. It's very, very big, very, very long. They've been able to put together every possible color, possible shape, possible layout, template, however you want it. They have done it. Now, what you need is to be able to call classes. In the last class, we were able to call classes. If you watch the previous video, you see how we're able to call CSS classes. Now, what I want us to now go on to do today is that we have this Bootstrap version. It is 3.4.1. That is what we are working with in this template that is given to us by .NET 3.4.1. Now, we will now go to the Bootstrap website and go and see what they have for us. So we go to getbootstrap.com. So if you have, I'm going to connect to getbootstrap.com. I'm going to bring up my browser now. Let's go to getbootstrap.com. You can all do this as well. Getbootstrap.com. Now, this is where our work is starting from today. This is where our work is starting from today. Now, coming from the getbootstrap.com site, this is the site in which you get your Bootstrap set up on your system or device. You can easily download it. Now, when you look at it now, they said they have new version. But if you look at our application, if you look at the application, I've shown us where we'll get to this point. If you click on the content, you click on the Bootstrap, you will see the Bootstrap version that you are using. This is the version we are using, 3.4.1. That's the version we are using. So in your application, you should be able to know the version. You cannot just change the version like that. You cannot update the version. If you update the version, many things will break because they change many things each time. So for this .NET framework, this is the version it's using. If you log on to maybe .NET Core, we have another version there, no problem. But for now, let's work with what we have. So now, this is the .NET Core. Now, the beautiful thing about this Bootstrap I did not show us is because it is responsive. What do I mean by responsive? Let me show us. I'm going to load this application again. I want to load this application again. Then when I load it, I want to show us how important it is to use Bootstrap CSS when you are doing your application. They've been able to take to cognizance every devices. So as you use it, as you open your website in any device, it tries to adjust to that device. That is responsive. When your site is responsive, very, very good. So if you open it on the big screen, it will open it. If you open it on the small screen like tab, it will open it. If you open it on the phone as well, it will open it. Now, all these things boils down to you being able to access your work on different devices. From this page now, I want to show us the powerful work of a Bootstrap CSS. Now, if I try to minimize, I try to collapse this my page. Maybe I collapse it. You can see that it's adjusting. As I'm scrolling, it's adjusting itself. Everything is adjusting itself. That is Bootstrap. And you see the program this one has come out. They try to make many things. They've done this for us. Before, you are the one that will write the CSS that will make this happen, whether with the JavaScript and everything. But if you are using CSS, if you are using Bootstrap, you don't need to disturb yourself of all this. You can see that it has adjusted to this level. And if you are opening this site on a small device, scrolling up and down is allowed, but scrolling left and right is wrong. So everything must adjust itself, and that reason why if I'm bringing it back, it's adjusting itself back. So the layout stay. The layout stay. So there are some websites you will open, you will see that it's not like this. That means the version, and they are able to leverage on HTML5 protocol, HTML5 principle to achieve all this. Fine. So the reason why you have to use Bootstrap, I just show us that. So let me leave this for now and come back to our Bootstrap page. I've told us we are going to 3.4.1. So you come to this side, I'll click on this place. You see different versions they have done. So this is where they are going. All these versions something has changed in them. So click on your version. We have older versions. I just click on other versions. You can see other versions they have done. But don't disturb yourself about the other version. Just stick to your version and you move on. So 3.4.1. Now I just open 3.4.1. Now what I want you to note here, or what I'm going to be telling you here, is that in HTML5, some things are important and some things change. HTML5 has some principle, and that principle you need to understand it. Before I go on, I'm showing us in Bootstrap. I'm holding on Bootstrap now. I'll just pause where we are now. Let me bring up the principle that we need to know on that our HTML5. I'm going to copy and paste something for us now. Now, HTML5 has some laid down rules that you just have to follow. If you do not follow it, you will break something, and very, very important. Now, can you see this? Can you see my screen? Now, in HTML5, element is structured in an outline way. Now, in our normal HTML, we know that some things are fundamental. I've said several times. In your normal HTML, some things are fundamental. What are those things that are fundamental? We have the HTML tag open and close. Inside it we have head open and close. Inside head we have title open and close. Those are fundamental. Now under it we have body. They are fundamental things. That is how HTML must work. If you are saying you didn't get what I'm saying, I've shown us that several times in this class. Let me see if I can show us a sample of that again. And the only way I can show us a sample of that is if I can try and create a page. Do you have any page to create? Okay, let me create a page for us. I want to create a page. I call this page, I call it test. I want to create a page. Now, when this page is set up, it's going to show us the fundamentals. See the fundamentals. We have the HTML open and close. We have the head open and close. we have the body, and we have this is the fundamental HTML lineup. Now, in between this lineup now, that's when you post our hello world and everything that we did the last time. That's when we post it now. In between this lineup, they now put in the HTML5 principle. HTML5 principle in between this div. Now, what are the principles that I need you to just master? Now, the first principle is that we have something called header. That's one, header. Another one they call it nav. Another one they call it article, section, aside, and footer. All these things that I just mentioned now, they are all HTML5 attributes. Now, so if you want to do it now, if I copy this now, I just copy it. I don't copy all of them. I copy them, and I go back to this, and I said, let me paste them inside here. I paste them inside here, because that's where they're going to use them. So, inside the fundamental of HTML, I've placed the attribute of HTML5 now. Now, because this set is HTML5 by default, system knows that header, fine, see header is different from end, different. It knows that inside your header, that's where your banner, that big image, everything will land. Now, your nav, that's where your navigation button will stay. All those about us that you click to go to another page, that's where it will stay. Your article, those are your content and every other thing, and your footer, that is where it will stay. Invariably, I'm showing us that how they come about this is what I'm just showing us. How they come about this is what I just show us now. So you can relate header, session, assign, footer to what I'm showing us now. All of them are inside this place. Now, where the problem now is that how do I configure this in a system? How do I tell system that I want to be of this size? This one come left, this one come right, this one stay below. That's where the problem now lies. I want to arrange all these things to look like this. That's the problem, because when I show you they are all this. That's where the problem lies. So you now throw in your CSS, Bootstrap CSS to align it for us. But I'm not going to do it. We are all going to do it together. Now let's go back to our CSS. Now, inside the CSS page 3.4.5, there's something called CSS itself, and there's something called components. You don't need those two CSS and components need to be your friend. But there are many templates, many samples, many layouts that you can get on those pages, so that when you see it, you see what they have done. You are able to extract it, and you are able to bring it. Now, like I said, the CSS and components, they need to be your friend. You need to learn many things from it. Now, let me show us something. If I scroll down, you can see the arrow. You can see the scrolling is so much. So let me scroll down. They have they try to do a short view for us here. If you quickly want to navigate to something, but I'm not going to do that. Let me take time and scroll down. Now, then you need to go and study what happened on this page. You need to read through the overview of that Bootstrap, I think on the CSS. Now, they take it step by step to explain what you need to do to achieve what you need to achieve. You see them, they started with this fundamental. You can see the fundamental of HTML that have been mentioned. Now, from there, they now move on to many other things, the meta and everything, no problem. Now, I want to scroll down, they get to containers. How do we use containers? Every item, they are all packed inside the containers. They try to explain some certain thing for us. Okay, where I'm going, I think we'll get there very soon. Let me scroll down very well. You need to come in here and check what actually happened. Now, look at where we are. Look at where we are. In Bootstrap, their column, the page column is divided into 12, followed by page column. Let me bring up this for us. I'm not close it. You see this page from here, from this get to all this. Everything is divided into 12. 12. So for you to have 3 like this, that means you imagine having 4, 4, 4. You get what I'm saying? 4 in 3 places. You have a column like this. Now, for you to have something like this, maybe you just have it, just one. Now, again, you see the side here, the side here, the side here, and the side here. It's part of it. Now, it depends on the layout that you are using. So let's assume this is 4, this is 4, and this is 4. That means if you want to do a proper layout, and you are using a full page layout, listen, a full page layout. A full page is from this edge to this edge. That's a full page, edge to edge. So we take one like this, one away. We come here, we take one away. From 12, I've taken 1. It remains how many? 10. So in between from here to here is 10. So you now divide everything you want to divide in between the 10. You get what I'm saying? That is calculation, that is laying out. So you now say, okay, in that 10, let me give this one. Maybe I give this one 2. How many should I give you? 2. Just break it however you want to break it. That is what they are trying to explain here. 1, 2, this is a complete page. If you count it, it's 12. They now said, okay, if you want to have a page in which you have one side bigger than the other side, you can now say, okay, you take 8, but this one take 4. What I'm showing you now should be giving you an idea of what I showed to us here. If you see this now, that means you'll be thinking that, okay, let me assume this place take the whole 12. Okay, you take 10, you take 2. If you get what I'm trying to say, that is what we have here. See this one now. This one is able to have 8, column MD8, takes our 8, takes 8 column. This one takes 4. Now I can choose to have 4, 4, 4, break it into 3. And I can choose to have 6, 6. However I want to have it. That is the model. Now, how do I do this? For me to do this, they're giving you the code. This is the code down here. See the code. Just, if you copy this first one now, if I copy this first one, and I go to that my form, inside this my form, and I drop it somewhere here, it's going to break it down for me in 12 places. That is copy and paste. The code is already made. You get what I'm saying? Copy and paste. Now, if I want to do the one that have 2 columns, one bigger than 1, if I come here again, I can say, okay, this one 8 and 4. The one for 8 and 4 is here, 8 and 4. That means for me to do something like this, maybe I'm going to do 6, maybe 6 and just let's say 6 and you know what I'm saying? Just don't know how to call your column, and that is what you're going to use. So from their own now, if I copy the one that is 8 and 4, if I copy 8 and 4, 8 and 4 should be able to do something for me. And then if you can even reduce the 8, maybe I reduce 1 to 6, I reduce 1 to 7. It must not be 12. You have to know how you want to achieve your 12. Divide it and make sure it is 12. So if I do 8 and 4. I'm going to have a page that's divided like this, 8 and 4, or 4, 4, or 6, 6. I don't know. So the code of how to achieve that, they have it already. So you are not the one that will be racking your head to know how to write CSS. No, 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 no. Just copy the code and paste it. It will work for you. So let me copy the one for this. I'll copy that. Then I'll come in here inside my application. I'll come inside my application here. I can nest it. I can do a break and put that down. Now, in your previous lesson, if you want to divide one top from down, you can use break to divide it. They have a better way in their own way of dividing it. So if I put something like this, you should know this by now. Abi, that sign means create a space in between the up and down. That's what that sign means. There are better way of doing it using Bootstrap. Bootstrap have a better way of doing it. So if I properly lay out this thing, I will have my page very well. My page, I will have my page where I want it. If I properly lay this now very well. Now, where we are going now is this. If I run this thing now, even though all the columns are just empty, okay. Now, if I run this thing now, it will not work. Not the reason why it will not work. Class. Not the reason why it will not work. I have not informed this page to inherit Bootstrap CSS. I have to tell the page inherit Bootstrap CSS so that when I ask it to inherit, it will begin to inherit it. It works. How do we do that? I will come under my heading here. Inside the heading, I put a space. I will now go back to my solution. I will go to that content, this content. These are the CSS, these are the Bootstrap everything. So I need to drag as much as possible CSS, drag it to my page. So my page can inherit it. You see the same writing the code for me. I can drag the theme. I can pick this now. I put this one there. The next one, I've picked this. The next one is this. I pick this. The next one, probably this. Now, if I run the page now, if I save it and I try to check my page is still active. Okay, my page is still active. Let me see if I can bring up the page. Okay, let me run it all together. Come in. My page is still active. Okay, so let me run the page. Okay, after I've run the page now, you can see my full page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can see this. And then you can see that I have 8. This one take up to 8. 1, 2, this is 8. So it take up to 8. This one now take the remaining 4 based on the way I lay it out. You get what I'm saying? Now, all these things, they all matters. Now again, if I now want to, let me go back there and go and see, peradventure there are other ones. Now this one give me 4, 4, this one give me 6, 6. All of them are samples. All I just need to do is to copy any sample that I want that fall in line with what I want to do. And I'll do it and I'll use it. It makes life easy for me. So let me create a break line I break the line, I paste this, I paste that in between them again. Let me break the line again so that they will not just follow themselves. So we can see this. If I save this now and I check my page, I should have all of them. You can see the one for 4 and the one for 6. Now we are making sense. Some people now said, okay, if you have been able to do this, let me scroll down and just show us more. They are under CSS. You see the layout of other ones. We have it 8 and 6, whichever one. The code is down there. So when you get home now, I want you to scroll down here, copy many sample. Look at this sample now. They are trying to do some calculation in this box. They are trying to put right up in this box. The code they used to do it, this is the code. They give us the code here. If you copy this now and I will put it on my page, I'm going to have something like this, exactly like this. Okay, let me show us. Now, all this thing boils down to you doing many practice on this thing to be able to achieve whatever you want to achieve. I just paste that. Here is my page. Okay, let me see. I just paste what I saw there. I've saved it. Let me save the page. After saving, I want to view it. So you see what we have. The calculation at this side. Now, so the layout is there. With this now, what you need to do, let me go and add, I want to add color to them. Let me see when they add color, some of them. So that when I add color to them, it will like differentiate them. Let me scroll down, and see anyone that has to do with color. Maybe that will help. Okay, I'm scrolling. They have countless example. I was able to show us this one in our last example as well. Let me scroll down. Let me see where they use color. So that we'll be able to put color some of them. Okay, I've seen one color, but I want to see if there are better ones. Coming. I want to add color to them. Yes, but I want to use Bootstrap color. I just want to use my own color. Now, of course, there's a way they put color to all these buttons. Of course, if you want to use it, you can use it. But still, let's scroll down. Let's see. Now, all these are CSS samples. Now, there's a way they put color to all this background. You can see the background of all these things. There's a way they put color to it. Now, what do? They use BG, they use primary, success, info, money. Yes, that's how they put color to them. So let me copy one of this class. I copy one of the class. I want to go and use it to differentiate what we have done by adding color to them. And so that we can understand better what we are trying to explain. So I've copied primary, I'll come back, I'll copy success or danger. Alright, let me go back to my code. I want to see anyone, okay, this one of that is 6 by 6. I want to put the color inside here. Now, I cannot put, this is a class already, I can't put class together. In that case, I have to remove the first class item away. You will inherit, you can inherit the class, this same class will work for it. I've called that one, I've called it BG primary. Let me copy it. The second one, let me make it BG success. Even if I remove it and I click, see what I do. I type BG and I now type the hyphen. I press Control Enter. Control Enter will bring out that yellow box. And I can say, okay, I've already before, let me pick success now. If I open this on the page, if I save it, if I check my page now, I should see of different color. You can see one is this, one is that. So if I want to put color to all of them one by one to differentiate them, it is I use it because they've written the color code. I just have to just apply the same set of the color. How do I get it? When you scroll down very well, you see the one that is slightly closer to what you want. Okay. Now, some people now come together. Okay, before then, when you get home, please Do scroll down here very well. Scroll down very well. You will get something that you really need. Many things you really need. You can see the colors now. Color sample. So when you want to do what I ask you to do, in fact, you can see the way they did their own. If you copy the code here, you paste it to work. Now, I want to show us another one before I move on. I've been scrolling down on CSS. Again, they have something called components. If I click on component again, we have a whole lot of components they put together. Icon, images, name it. If you just all these components now, some websites you see them using all this icon thing. How do they come about all of this thing? They have it, they have to go for it. If you scroll down very well, you see how they use them and how they are able to put them in the application. Now, this is Bootstrap. If I have to design a website and I want to use all these things, you can see now if I want to put star in my button, they've put a code for me to do that. If I put it, it's going to come up as a star. Now, if I scroll down, we have other sample. You just copy and paste. Copy and paste to work. Let me show us other one down buttons. Different type of button. They are able to say, okay, this button, stay left, you be in the middle, you go right. This is what they are doing here. Able to separate them. And again, let me scroll down because what we are doing is a beginner class. I will not take time to show us many other things that you still need to know they are here. I'm supposed to show us content. I need to just crash everything very fast so as to be able to show us what we need. There are samples here, how this one looks like. You have the code under it. Now, knowing all this and seeing all this, they now further make life better, further make life comfortable for us. Now, you can see I've shown us CSS, which I want us to scroll through, do many samples. I've shown us components, fine. They now make life much more better now. If I go to this called themes, they now begin to design some website themes that you just pay a token amount of money, like just pay $50. They will have done a complete template of a complete website, put in all the CSS, do the layout, you just buy it, then run it, you have the website complete already for you. All you need to do is just go and set that website, put your content, put everything. So with $50, I don't need to be copy and paste any code again. I just buy the template already made website with many things inside, and I begin to add it together. Now let the page is loading. When the page come up, you know, so they just put money into it. Now, immediately they are able to do this one template. Out of numerous templates that I have numerous templates, like I said. Let me show us how the template look like. I want to run one template for us. Now, what you are seeing now is a complete template. This is how the template look like. Some people come up with this template using Bootstrap. They've done the layout, they put everything beside, they put the image will be, they put content, they've done a complete layout of everything. This is a template. If you want to see the gallery, if I click on this, the gallery begin to work and everything. They've done a whole lot of things there. All I just need for me to now do is now begin to change and adjust to whatever I want to adjust. They put just dummy image and everything. You can see about us is working, services, all those ones. They've done a good job. If you now ask me, how do we go about this? What you need to do is that this template now, this is what you now need to set up inside your .NET, and now begin to change the name, the content, the logo, everything. you said you need home, about us, services, and maybe contact us. Every other one, I'll delete them away. I don't need them. That's what we show. Okay, you said you need to have something, maybe an application you can get started or you put login there. Other thing. Now, these are, like I said, these are templates. If I want to show you other templates that I have on my system, as I'm talking, if I'm able to see any one of them, I'm going to bring them up for us to see. There are a whole lot of things. Now, I'm going to show us a site. On that site, there are countless number of templates for you to play around with. So that by the time you go online and you see some of these very mighty websites, you begin to see how do they do all this thing? Some of them are actually, they bought the template and they work for it. Now, this is a template now. That template has several types of homes. If you want for accommodation, construction, this and that, education, just click it to open it for you. If you want for construction, if the construction you want to build, click it, you say construction template. So this template you have to you buy it online. You now pick the forms to come up with what you want. Now, I'm not going to give us some of these complex ones because I bought them. But I'm going to give us the simple one. I bought it anyway. I'm going to give it to us and we're going to work with it. We're going to see how we can adjust them to achieve a particular website. So now we can see different type of pages. Many pages that the template will have. There's a way and manner we set all these things to come up with a particular website. Different type of landing page, different type of thing, they have it there. Now, if you go to this page, www.teamforest.com, on this platform, the number of templates they have here, there is no type of job you want to do that is not template here. They have it there already. So I just need to, how many dollars, maybe $20, I'll start aside. Okay, the work is towards is it education, is it company, I'll go on the template, then I'll bring down the templates, I'll download it, I'll buy it, I'll bring it down, and I'll set it on my studio and begin to work with it. That is how to do that is how we work now. So nobody writes HTML, full CSS. It's only if you now need some particular thing that person wants this picture to have shadow around it. He wants one to have different type of color. You will now go and check which Bootstrap they use for this template. Okay, Bootstrap 3.4.1. Okay, you now log into the Bootstrap. You go and see how do they do shadow. You now copy the code of shadow. Then and now go and add it to wherever you want to add it. Those are what you have been doing. Amending. That's what you'll be doing. But everything, every role you want to think, every job you want to think now, the template is somewhere. Just look for it and get it. Okay, after checking everything we have been doing, I want to show us how we can find a way around Bootstrap templates. If you have this website that is designed with Bootstrap, they gave it to you. How can you manipulate your way around it? That's what I want to share. Because every template you get, there will be content inside it, things will be inside it. Just have to find your way around it. Now, I have an application here, the same application that we have been running before. I want to run with this default page. I want to show us the one I've been showing us before. Then I will now come back, I will now manipulate it in a little way for us, so that by the time we get to the real template, you will be able to know what to do. Now, it's good to work with templates, and then when you have templates, please do whatever you want to do to achieve your aim. Okay, after loading this, we have something like this. Now, this is example of how the template will look like. So I'm going to close this, then I will now begin to work, make some adjustments on the template. Let's see. I want to just be attentive. You will get what we are trying to do here. Okay, I close that. I have a form here. I call it home page. What I've done in the form is that I have merged many things together. I've merged many things together, so I want to work with that home page. That home page is still the same thing that we know. Let the page load. Now this is the home page. So what I want to do now is that I want to collapse my page into two. I want to collapse my page into two, and I want to open that home page so we can see it, even though it's a little bit small. But eventually, I'm still going to open up everything eventually. Okay. Now, let me open everything so that you'll be able to see it very well. You can see I have my heading here, home page, my ASP.NET application. That is my heading. Now, I've told us that meta, this meta is very, very important. These two meta, they are all very, very important in your application. What they are used for is that if you want Google to be able to recognize your website, tell somebody type your name or whatever, your job on Google. Anything you put here with meta, that is what Google search engine normally check around in all the websites to see that name. So that name come up on the Google for you. So that's how Google is able to plug it to all the websites. So just type any name. If you type your company name on Google, it will bring that company for you. Because the company will have said something on the meta. That is why you're able to bring it out. You can set description, set name, put a whole lot of things there. There are many things on that. But the title, I'll show that one. Now, this template here, because this form, by the time I begin to drag many reference, CSS reference on my page, on my header, it will be so many. That's the reason why there is a way to compress it. There's a way to compress it. This method actually compress all the CSS. What do I mean? If I go to this bundle modelizer, let me see it. Let me open it for us. Where is the bundle? Let me collapse this. This is the bundle. Now you can see our CSS. They are here. This is how, if you have to knit up the page, that's what that place is for. I don't want to disturb us with that. Just leave it. I'm going to just leave that for us for now. Now, where we are going, so as to be able to get what we want to get, is in between the body. That is where what we want to do is this body, open body, form, and this div. That is what we want to do. That's where it is. Now, let me in a way try to collapse some of these things. I'm going to collapse them so that we can be able to have meaning to them. I want to collapse them. Now, from what I showed to us initially, I made mention of now. This is nav bar for header. I made mention of it for us and show us what I was showing us, that breakdown of the template on header. Header is different from header. We are able to have, this is the header here. This is the header here. There's a way Bootstrap will notice that, okay, this header is for navigation bar. Okay. And they are able to put some of the classes that we're supposed to need. They put it inside there. Now, the way and manner they do some of these things is that it is in two. The reason why it is in two is that by the time your form is collapsing, maybe to a phone version, some thing will disappear, some thing will appear. Bootstrap manages that. What do I mean? I showed us before that okay, see this form now. This was not in our form before. But if I'm beginning to drag this one now, it disappears, something appears. This one appears, that one disappears. So they manage that process. So the same way they manage it is inside our application. You see now that disappear to show us this. This is burger menu. Burger menu. Now, the same way That program menu is this one. So you don't need to bother yourself this code. They have managed it with a code. So don't crack your head on how it works. So there are some things you leave alone. You don't just touch anything anyhow, or else you will break the fundamental. So this one now, I'm to leave it alone. It doesn't concern me. Now, again, what I'm going to leave alone is if I want to change this name now, application name, I may change this application name now to my name. Let me say I change it to, okay, I change the application name to this. If I run the application, I'm going to see it. Now, again, the menu bar, this is now the menu bar, the one you are seeing. When you have a full screen, you see this. When you have a collapse screen, this will collapse inside this one. There's a way they collapse inside themselves. That's why they call it, they will use the collapse tag. They have managed that one. Don't need to know how to do it, just forget about it. I'm only showing up in by the way of being able to read the code. So I can change any of these now. Maybe say I change this one to let me say I change it to, like say, about us. I change this one to contact us, about us, and just change it to the two. Fine. Those are things I can manipulate. They may say, no, 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 we want another name. We want us to be able to do our services. No problem. I will come after about us. I'll drop a column. I'll change this one to our services. Our services. I'll just change it to our services like that. So it is, if they say no, no, we also want our gallery to be there, no problem. We create another tab, put it our gallery. So whichever one they said they want, that's all, or you said they want blog, no problem. I'll change this one to blog. That is me creating menu bar. And you know, this will definitely change. This will be pointing to that page that is called our service, and this will be pointing to that page that is called our blog. That means in your form, you create a form called our gallery or whatever beside your form. What do I mean? The same way you create form. The same way you create form. Just like click on this and then click add. Instead of that, click form and type the name, our service. That our service, link it to that one. So the same way, I just type services. So if I copy these services now and I save this, so in this place now, I type rubbish there, no problem. I'm going to come back. So if I come in here now, under our service, I come here, I paste the services there. I just link the page like that. That's how to do page linking using the A anchor and the ref. This ref helps us to go to any page. It's an attribute. So I'm just showing us this. So if I save this now, and if I open up my browser, I should be able to see from those things I've done. My service and blog. That's how to add more. So if you have any template, that template does not have more up to what you have. You can always add your own. If I click on this now, it should open. But I don't want to, because I need to reload the page for that form to be able to load. The name that changed and everything. That's that. So I'm showing us gradually on how to do it. So moving on from here now, if I come down a little bit from the ref, then I have other parts. These are all the content. The content that talks about the .NET. Let me see it, how it looks like. This .NET. Now, if I change this one to, if I change it to first class sample. I change to first class sample. That means when I load the form, that's what I'm going to see. So I'm editing the text, first class sample. You see now, I'm editing the text. So I have to change all this right up to wherever I want to change it to, change it and put it. Now again, if you look at this one, this is a complete bar. Let's see it out. This is meant for image or something. Image to be there. Let's see how big that is. Now, when you look at this very well, it's inside a container and they call it a body container. Now, the class, because it is a complete, being that they make it when you check the Bootstrap class for a container that is a body container. Now this is the main class that talks about it. If I open up this main class inside the Bootstrap, I will see the function, the code for this inside it. If I mistakenly remove the N or remove the O, this thing will not work again because you will not see that class. So you don't just tamper with the one you don't know. Deal with what you know. I'm going to leave this one now. Where I'm going, I'll get there. Now, this is exactly where I'm going. What I want to show us exactly is all this tab that is down here. How do they come about it? And I want to adjust them. Okay, now, if you see the row here, inside the first row, I have this one, 4, DM4, column 4. I have this one, I have this one. There are 4 places. That's what I want to deal with now. Peradventure, I want to make one. I want to make one of them. No, none of them are 4. If by mistake I make one out of it, if by mistake I change this 4 to 8, let's see what will happen to the whole application. That means I'm saying one should be 8, one should be 4. That is more than 12 like that. So all of them will not be able to stay on the same row again. That's the implication. You see now, it has just changed. Because I make one 8. So this one is taking 8 column. So this one is taking 4. That is 12. If I make them like 2, 2, 2, I make this one 2. Make the other one. Okay, let me make the next one. Let me say I just make the next one. I make it 2. I make it 2, 2, 2. Let me see what will happen. Because these are some of those things we need to just test on it and we'll see how it works. Okay, I'm coming. So I make this one. I make it 2. So I have 2, 2, 4. Okay, let's see what will happen to it. 2, 2, 4. 2, 2, 4. So if I want to make it 2, 2, 2, 2, that means I'll still be able to. So I'm just manipulating the already made CSS. I'm not the one that is changing CSS, just changing 2. So that is what you'll be doing. Just a little thing, and you have your work done. So you will not stress yourself on trying to cram how do I write one gigantic CSS to no. You will not. So and again, all those things that I gave to us. Peradventure, I even want to create one. I want to create one now. I want to create one on top of all of them. I just copy it. Now see, it is inside the row that you can break things down like that. Inside the row. So what I want to do now is that I want to create one row. I'll create a div. I'll give it a row. So I'm doing that on top because my client said he need one that we're talking about how do I call it? In company, they normally have their mission statement, all those things, they gave it to me. So I need to put it immediately under the banner. So, and it is not part of my template before. So I can quickly create one div, give it a particular function and put those things there. So that's what I want to do. So I'm just trying to I'll just create a row now. Okay. Shift this. I'm going to have that. Alright, fine. So I just create that, but I need to give it a class. And the class is what? Is a row. So I need to tell you that, okay, this row, I want it to be now. it is easier for you to copy and paste if you don't want to type it. And again, you can type. It depends on however you want it. But if you copy and paste, make sure you close every div that you open. Like this one, open and close. This one, I open it, I've closed it. Make sure you close every div. And I want this one to be, maybe I want it to be like, I want it to be 6. I want it to be 6. So, and I want it to be 2. I want 2, 6 like that inside this row. That will make it 12. So I can put our mission statement, everything. So in here, I can copy out this. I can say, okay, this one will carry mission statement. Okay, our mission, let me just call it our mission. Our mission, this one will carry our mission. And the next one probably carry our vision. So this is our. This one will carry our, this is our vision. I'm adding to the template. So our vision. So our vision now has its write-up. Our mission also has its write-up. I don't have the write-up yet. They are going to give it to me. If I save this now and I come to my template and check it, you can see now I have something on top of all of them. Mission, I just increase that. Even if I want to have it under, I can have it. If I want to delete any one of these away, like I just want this side and that side, I can delete the content inside this away, and there's no crime in doing that. So you can manipulate your template however you want it. Just make sure you get whatever you want to get. I can say, okay, let me erase. I don't want anything inside this one. Likewise, I don't want this. I just want it blank. Okay, but I need that space. Okay, if I check this out now, you can see what I have now. I just delete the one in between away. I'm able to have that space. No, manipulation comes in diverse, however you want to manipulate it. Now, this now will now lead us to us working with a complete template. Now, let's see this template now. We're going to work with. If you have a template like this, I open this my folder, and I have this index. I open it. This is a full-fledged template. This is a full-fledged template. If you now ask me, how do I migrate this template into my documents? I want to do it carefully, and I want to be fast about it. Carefully, and I want to be fast about it. You see this template now is big. I may not need everything. At times, maybe this line, I'll just delete it away. I don't need it. This one, you're doing so many things, no problem. I need it. Maybe all I need there is that I need the logo, I need the logo, I need the image. Maybe I need this too, or I don't need it, I may delete it. Depends on, but since I need about us, yes, this is their image, about us, I need it. I need their services again. I need some of the companies they are servicing. I need them, and I need what they are doing. What I actually need is what they are doing in that company. I need it. Their mission, vision. Okay, yes, I need it. I don't need this down one. I can delete that away. People's testimony, I need it. Okay, portfolio. I don't need portfolio. I'm going to delete it away. Gallery. Okay, it's okay. Their teams. I don't need picture. Maybe they don't even want to show their picture. I can delete their teams away. So I know what I want. The pricing, no, I don't need pricing. Fact, yes. People ask questions. I want to put some of the questions they have. Their contact us, yes. They have their address and the contact button to fill. Fine, and the footer. I saw what I need there, and some of those I don't need. So what I just need to do is to find a way to set this one up on my .NET. And by the time I set it up, then I begin to manipulate it. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it now, and I want us to do likewise. Now, watch what I'm doing carefully. It is very, it's not tedious, but you have to know what you are doing to be able to set up a template. I want to copy that link. That's the first thing I'm doing. I want to give it a name. That's the name I want to call it. Call it any name. So I go inside my .NET. I stop this. Now, because I have a template to work with, there are some jargons I don't need again inside this my platform. I'm going to delete jargons away. Now, see what I want to delete. Don't just delete anything anyhow. I'm sure if you delete this one I want to delete now, you have no problem. There are some things I don't need. I don't need this that I'm the one that created this. I don't need this one. I don't need it. Contacts, I don't need it. Okay, sorry. I don't need this the about us. Fine. I don't need this contacts. This default, I don't need it. It's their own. Index, home page, I'm the one that set it up. Services, I don't need it. I don't need this and this. This one, I'm the one that owns it. I don't need this. Okay, this one, I'm going to leave it. So, you see these 6 forms. If you load a new website, a new .NET template now, all these 6 forms are there, default. You can delete them away. They are there. I don't want to delete my own work. I would have said let me delete everything. I did not touch any of the folder. Don't touch any of the folder. Don't just do that mistake. So I'm deleting because this one came with the templates when I was loading my template for the first time. So I pressed delete and I said okay. Now every other ones here, I am the one that set them up. I'm the one that create these. I didn't touch the bundle. Leave the bundle alone. Leave the favor icon alone. Is important. The global is important. This package is important. Don't delete it. The web config must be there. Very, very important. Now, what am I trying to do? I want to create a new file. So I'm going to add the file now. So I want to add the file now. So I'm scrolling up. So I'm going to add the file now. I right click and I say add. So I'm adding a new file. So I call it this name. This name I want to call my file. You can call your file any name. Call it any name. So I call it that name and I said save. Don't go save it for me. I'll have the default. So what I'll do next after having my page like this, I will now go to that my template. I'll open up the template. I'll look for the main form, which is the index. This is the main form. The template may be so many. Just go and look for the main opening form, which is the template. I will right click on it. Right click on it. It will load many things for me. I will say open with .NET Studio. By the time I open with .NET Studio, .NET will now open everything that makes up that code for me. It will open everything. So this is what I have inside it. All this. This is what is loading for me that I'm seeing online. So you can see it's very long. It's very long. No problem. I want to migrate all this into my code. If you are doing .NET Core, you don't need to migrate it. Use it like this. But because we are working with .NET framework, we have to migrate it. It's very simple to migrate, but you have to know what you are doing. Now, I'll show us step by step. What you need to look for, number one, you look for the head. I collapse it. Head. Collapse the head. The next thing you need to look for is the body. Collapse it. Body. You get me now? In my form, I have head and I have body. That's all. So move what is in the head to head, move what is in the body to body. That is all. Did you get me? Did you get me? So I want to move head to head, body to body, just like that. So let me now start with the head first. So I want to open that. I come back to this. I open the head. Now I'm going to copy everything I have on this head. Everything. Copy head. I'm trying to copy it. I'll copy everything till I'll copy it till the end of it. Okay, this is the end of it. All this one, leave it, but they've hold it. Just leave this one. I copy everything like that. I copy head. Just copy it. Then I come here. Now, if I want to paste this head, I need to be careful. Now, see what I want to do. I will come to the under this title. Under the title, I put a space. I put a space and I paste it. That is everything. But I have title here. I have another title somewhere here. I need to choose one. I must not use the two. I have title here before. I have another title for what I'm bringing. I can't use the two. I have to pick one. So let me quickly delete this title away so that I can use this title here. I just finish with the end, just like that. I just finish with the end. So every other thing that remains, I'm going to show us because we need to go and bring this folder into our system. This folder is where our CSS is. It's not here already. We are going to bring it. I'm finished with the head. So when you scroll down now, everything under head, we have it already. As simple as that. So if I click to scroll, the first thing I need to do, I need to get this running on my system first. Then before I start adjusting, I'll move up the head. Now let me go and deal with the body. Now my body, I have to be careful. My body, I have to place it inside this div. Inside this div. So I'll go back. I have to pick everything that is in the body. It is just step by step as I'm doing it. So don't mix it together. Don't mix it together. Let me collapse this. I'm copying from here into here. This is .html. This is .c.aspx. The one I did was ASPX. That template is .html, so you don't mix them together. So I'll come here under HTML, I'll open the body. Now, I will copy from the top bar. From the top here, I'll continue to scroll down. I'll continue to scroll down. Continue to scroll down is very many. To the where I'm going to see the body down there. I'm scrolling down to the end of where I'm going to see the body. I'm scrolling down. I'm scrolling down. Okay, I'm about to get there. Okay, I'm about to get there. I'm scrolling down. Okay, this is the body now. This is where the body ends. I'm going to stop here. So I've copied in between the bodies now. I'll copy it. Then I'll come back here. I'll paste everything inside here. I just finish migrating the template into my .NET. How many copies did I do? Just 2 copies. I copied the head, I copied the body. Did you get this? Now, if you have done that, you save it. Then, if I run the application now, it may not actually work because it remains one thing for me to do. I'm going to do that one thing. So, after I've copied what is in the head to the head from the template, and I've copied what is in the body to the body, what remains for me to do is if I collapse this body now, I open the head on my ASP.aspx. Now, all these references of my CSS, I need to go and call the references of the images, of everything. I need to call because this is asset. I didn't have this folder here. There's no folder here called asset. So, because the asset is coming from the template, so I'm going to minimize this. If you look at this, my template, you can see there's a folder here called asset. So, and inside the asset, the CSS, the image, everything that I need, they are all there. So, I need to find a way to move this folder into my application. Is important. The form, we leave it for now. Even if you want to copy the form, no problem. Okay, let's copy the two. I want to copy this asset and I want to copy the form. I'll copy, I click on them, I press shift or control, whichever one. I press control, I click on this and I click on this, the two together. So I'll right click on them, right click, I want to copy them. So I copy the two. I just copy the two because that is where my resources are. Without the resources, my page will not load. So I just copy the two now. Now what I'm going to do is I'll go back to my application. Now I need to navigate to where my application is. I need to navigate to where my application is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on my project. I right click on my project and I'll navigate to open folder in the file explorer. I want to go back to the main folder that I created inside my hard disk. That's where I want to go. So I click on it, then it will open this is my folder that I created the hard disk. So what I need to do is I'm going to now dump those two folders there. I'm going to paste, I want to paste the two folder inside it. How do we do that? Let me scroll down. I want to paste the folder. The pasting is just me pressing Ctrl V. Ctrl V, I just paste this asset and the form inside that folder for me. Ctrl V. I've copied it and pasted it. Now, when I've done this, meaning that all my resources, they are now available. So when I come back to my application, I need to make sure the form, they are visible here. So what I will do is that on top of my application here, on top here, there is one that looks like a file, view all file, view all file. I click on it, it's going to show me every hidden files. If I click on it back, everything goes. If I click on it, I'm able to see all my hidden files. So all the files that's inside that folder will show them. So let me right click on it. I want to right click on the first one, and I said include in project. Include this folder in this project. I said yes. The folder is now alive. I'll come to the form. I click on it, include in this project. Because as I include, I can also exclude. The two is there. If I want to exclude, I can go and say exclude from the project. But what I want to do now is including. So I've included the two folders that I need to my project. And what that means is that if I run this project now, I should have what I need. So I'm scrolling. Okay, this is my form. This is my form. Let me close every other one that I'm not using. I'm closing every other one that I'm not using. We are almost through with this. So this is the HTML that I was using before. This is the form that I create. So I have all the extension. This folder now is the asset. I have it. So what I just need to do next is that I need to set this as my startup page. Set as startup. So then, if I save this and I run this, I should have my page inside .NET. I should have the page inside .NET. So let the page load, then you have the page. Alright. So we can see that I now have it inside my extension now. You can see my extension, the name I give the form. So inside my .NET now, I have everything that my template used to have. Everything that my template used to have, and I have it in my .NET. So at this point now, if I now want to manipulate anything, I can now go ahead and manipulate it, change this one, delete that one away. Very easy for me to do at this point. So I can now close away this template website that I have. Now I have it in my .NET now. I'm good to go. I can now do my manipulation at this point. So the first manipulation is that way. I want this to be called my company website. So I want to remove the name and call it my company website. That's a manipulation. If I save this, if I check it, it will be there. Now, that is how I'll be doing. You can see now my company website. Okay, that's the wrong spelling. My company website. It remains O to be there. My company, my company website. So every other manipulation that I want to do at this point, then I can now begin to do it. So our next work to do my company website. So if I said okay, I don't want a particular part of the application, I can easily go to the body. Adjustment is mainly most on the body. If I get to the body now, I can make so many adjustments that I want to do. So at this point, I have my template done and I have my work ready to go. Thank you so much. My name is always Adeleke Sandra.